everybody, CT Hippo here, out another adventure. Today we are at the Puget Sound Gas and Steam Tractor Show in Lynden, and got a really neat steam tractor here with a neat story. So, tell me your name?
Brian Dykstra.
Okay, Brian. So what is this that we're looking at today?
This is a 25 horsepower, single cylinder, 1911 Rumley steam tractor. And it was used, it was originally sold up into Canada and then sold down into the Montana area. And it was used to build roads and log for the Fort Peck Reservoir construction project. And after the reservoir was complete and ready to be filled, they left this tractor in the bottom of the reservoir. So, you know, that was probably around late 20s, early 30s is when that took place. And so it was always submerged underwater, and that's what helped preserve it. That's what saved it through the scrap drives of World War II, when a lot of these big tractors were scrapped as far for the war effort. And in the 50s, some local ranchers got together when they had a drought in the winter time, and they were able to drag it up out of the bottom and with some of the logging equipment, and got it up on the bank. And you can see some of the damage that it suffered during that time. We got some cracks in the wheels that have been repaired and other things from freezing in the ice through the winter when it was all the way up on the bank. And from there they spent their summer going down there and flushing the water and everything out of it and restoring it and machining the new parts. And so it lived in Montana, restored from the 50s all the way up into the late 70s when it was purchased by a gentleman named Fred Pullender. And Fred brought it up here, and I worked with him on restoring it again in about 2009 or so. And it's been displayed here at our Puget Sound Antique Tractor Show, and shown at our vintage farming days here ever since.
How long did the restoration take?
I don't know about the first restoration, but I spent about 3 years restoring it the second time. We replaced all the piping, all the flues in the boiler, and friend David helped me out with a bunch of the machining work, and we use it, we run it on our sawmill, we thresh grain with it, we take it around in our parade, and been using it ever since.
Wow, that's amazing. Thanks for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Bye.
grind against each other to grind the corn in the mill. Quite a demonstration.
So this is the reason I'm out here today. I've told several times the story of the Charlotte, the lake walking tugboat that was used to haul barges and logs around the lake until the advent of the roads in the 50s. It was largely abandoned by the 70s. I might understand ownership was kind of passed around between various people on the lake, usually for $1, and it sat at its dock there at North Bay. In 1975, Halloween night 1975, there was a storm that knocked out power, which of course caused the bilge pump to quit working, and it promptly filled it with water and sank at its dock. The owner had the great idea that they'd fill the hull with inner tubes, it would float right up, and the next morning the entirety of North Bay was filled with inner tubes and ruptured pieces of boat. I'd always been told that the machinery had been salvaged shortly thereafter. They just drug it across the lake to over by where the park is now, and didn't think much of it. You've seen me snorkel on the hull. There's no machinery there except for where the shaft packing was. But it turns out that the engine was salvaged about 10 years ago. I'm still trying to track down the person who owns it now, but this here behind me is the original engine from the Charlotte. As you can see, it's a vertically acting single-cylinder steam engine, and from what I understand, it is in running condition. Like I say, I've not been able to find the person that actually owns it, but here it is in Berthelsen Park at Lynden, a actual piece of Lake Whatcom naval history, nautical history. I don't know what you want to call it. But from what I understand, this is it. This is the original engine of the Charlotte. It's pretty amazing. sadly, power straight will not be that another 50 years.
Just making that.